Hello. So this is the full story concerning my judicial hearing with Jehovah's Witness elders, part 2. At this point, the branch office asked me to accept an appeal committee. Now, there were things they didn't tell me about the appeal committee, and this is what they didn't tell me. Here it is in the elders textbook. The judicial committee, original one, makes available to the appeal committee the S77 forms and any notes they've written. They did not give those to me. I didn't know they existed. Now, if I'd known that that was going on, there's no way I would have accepted an appeal committee. I would have gone to court. But actually, a court case would not have succeeded because I really didn't know enough at that time. So anyway, I accepted the appeal committee and I went to a meeting with them to find there were 7 men there. 3 of the appeal committee, 4 from the original committee, including elders X and Y. Now, it became evident to me that the appeal committee had already made up their minds as to my guilt. They derided everything I said. In fact, they didn't allow me to have anybody to help me. They didn't even allow me to say very much. But they brought in four witnesses, so-called. Now, 2 of these witnesses had nothing to say. They had no evidence of slander whatsoever. And even the appeal committee recognised that fact. One of the other witnesses was a person with memory problems. And this person said something that was so obviously wrong that even the appeal committee could, it was doubtful. However, there was one young man who came in and stated, Ruth said something and she implied something else. So I said, I implied what? But at this point, I realised that none of the members of these committees knew about the second incident. Now, I had reported 2 incidents to the elders, but they'd ignored the second one, so they didn't know about the second incident. So I told them, I said, look, there was this other incident that you seem to have overlooked, and, there are other witnesses apart from me. Would they accept that? No. You see, the problem with Watchtower's judicial system is that the elders, both committees, had already made up their minds as to my guilt. So they couldn't back down and say, oh dear, we should have known about this second incident. But no, they said, no, we don't believe there was a second incident and we're not going to accept any word from you and we're not going to look into it. And so I was disfellowshipped again. Although, once again, there was no announcement made because I contacted the branch. Now, there's something you need to know about witnesses. In the August 15th Watchtower of 97, it states that if you think somebody has done something wrong, you must go to that person and say, look, I think you might have done this, this, and this. Am I correct? Because you need to check your accusations to make sure that you haven't jumped to wrong conclusions. Now, in my case, I found out sometime later that the elders had told these witnesses not to contact me, not to check their statements. And I've heard from others that this has happened to them as well, that there is a policy, if you're certain that wrong has been committed, the witnesses are not to contact the accused person. Oh, it's dreadful, dreadful. So anyway, somebody provided me with photographs of the second incident, which I gave to the appeal committee, and I sent a copy to the branch office. Now, the branch office were very kind, and they realised that there was no slander at all. Now, the appeal committee and the original committee included Elder Y, and this elder has the most amazing ability to think illogically. He thinks according to what he wants to believe, and is extremely inventive as to why that second incident couldn't be a wrongdoing. Anyway, the branch office were not fooled, and so they either wrote or telephoned to the appeal committee and said, look, she is to be exonerated. So I met with the appeal committee again, and they said to me, and this was because they couldn't bring themselves to back down, their pride was involved, they said to me, we forgive you. I said, you can't do that. I said, I should be forgiving you, not the other way round. So I phoned the branch office the next morning and told them about this, and they were quite angry about it. They said, look, no, they can't do that. And they either phoned them or wrote a letter and told them that I was to be exonerated, and that was to be the end of the matter. Now, I thought that really was the end of the matter. So I met with elders X and Y, and they apologized profusely, and they promised that they would go back to these people that they had told I was a slanderer and tell them I was not a slanderer. They promised that. And so I thought, okay, I'll leave that with them. I wrote a letter outlining their errors. I gave a copy to Elder X and sent another copy to the branch office. And Elder X was to give his copy to the rest of the elders to read. Now, I'm going to leave it there because I think this video is going on a bit too long. But please bear in mind that the appeal committee's activities in reading secret documents that the accused person doesn't know exist is unlawful. So, and that has got to stop. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, thank you very much.